Okay, this video is going to be on lesson 8, Sprite properties. So I'm going to begin. You guys know how to get to this point. Prediction. And it says, look at the code below and predict where the B sprite will appear. What will the program show? So we're showing the B at 350 on the x-axis and 350 on the y-axis. So if you show the grid, you guys know that each one of these are 50. So I'm going to go x, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350. And if I move my C across, the cross tells me I'm right there at 350, 350. So that's where the B is going to appear. And I chose B. And there he is, the little buzzard or bee. There you go. Finish. Continue. Number 2. These are really one of the easier things that we've done the past few months. So I hope that you can follow along. I hope that I'm thorough enough. So it says, Sprite properties keep track of all information your program needs to know about a sprite, such as its size and location. You can change the values of these properties just like you do variables, and see the results when your sprite is drawn to the screen. So do this, and I'm going to pull this down. I guess I don't have to. It's not going to. Run the program to see where the sprite appeared. Change the X and Y properties of the paintbrush sprite to move it down to the palette. So I'm going to hit run, and if you notice the paintbrush is up here. During class, I was asking the students to put it so it's like right in here, touching the palette. So I had the brush, it's at 300, 100. So 300X, 100Y. So I'm going to change the Y to 200. Let me see where that puts it. And that brings it down about the level I wanted it to, maybe a little bit more. So I'm going to change that Y-axis to 210. Hit reset and just to double check. Looks pretty good. Now we have to move it closer to the left-hand side. So it's at 300 now on the x-axis. Let's try 100. Oh, a little too far. Try 125. We might even bring it down some more too. So let's go at 130 on the x-axis and 215 on the y-axis, and let's see how that looks. We're getting closer. 135 on the x, and let's go 225. So that's what I was looking for. And I did that just by changing the X and Y location for the brush. Okay? Hit finish. Continue. And each one of these, I'm going to start over. Okay, this one says, sprites have lots of properties. Check out the two new blocks in this activity and try them out for yourself. Notice that different sprites can use the same animation and still look different because of the properties. Run the program and see how the rotation and scale blocks make the first two notes look different. Use rotation and scale blocks on the last two notes to make them look different too. So I'm going to hit run, and you can see how the first two notes are a different size. These two are the same size. So what we have to do is go over and let me go. So I'm going to the sprite category, and I'm going to pull out scale, and I'm going to put it on line 14. Everything else is going to be pushed down. And then I'm going to take sprite rotation and put it underneath that. And then we have to change. We have to make sure that matches up with the variable. So we're going to put note 3 on the scale and note 3 on the rotation. Now we just have to figure out what we want to do. If you look at note 2, it says 0.7. Note 1 was 0.3. So let's just do it proportionately. So if we're adding 4/10, we are going to make the scale on note 3 1.1, and we're adding 4/10. And the rotation, they have a 20 minus 30. I don't know. Let's do a 45. And just run it and see what happens. Oh, looks too much. Let's go a negative 45. Let's see how that works. Now, negative 25. Okay. So see how the little things are changing a little bit. So we're going to do the same thing down on note 4. We're going to pull in scale, put it on line 18, and we're going to do rotation on line 19. And of course we have to put note 4 to match the variable. And the scale, I don't think we need another big one. Let's make another small one. So the scale for note 4, let's do 0.5. 0.5. And the rotation, let's see if we can match the top one. Rotation 20. So we'll have the first and the last one. They should look close to being the same. Oh, the note 1, so it should be 0.3, excuse me. 0.3. And then they should be the same size. Doing the same thing. Okay? So make sure you do all of that. That's what I'll be looking for. That you have scale and rotation for note 3 and 4. I'm going to hit finish. Continue on. Okay, scale property. So let's do 4A. Let me see what I got here. So I'm going to go and start over. So I'm going to hit run. And it says the scale property changes the size of the sprite. Scale of 1 is the normal size, and scale of 2 is twice as big, and a scale of 0.5 is half as big. Use the scale property to make it look like the picture. So we're going to try to match this picture over here to here. Make sure the fish fits in the pond. So let's go with the elephant first. Elephant, the scale is 1, so we need to make it just a little bit smaller. Let's make it 0.75. Let's go down by 25 hundredths. And see what I want. See how the ear, that's what I'm looking at. See how the ear is? We're looking pretty close there. Now, the cow is at 1. Let's try 0.5. It looks pretty close. I'm looking at the distance between the feet. Now the fish is way out of the pond. So the fish is at a 1. 0.25. Hit reset and run. It looks a little small. 0.5. Looks good. And the bee, the little bee up in the corner, or fly, is at a 1. Let's try him at 0.5. See how it looks. Looks pretty good. So make sure you try to make it as close to this as you can. The numbers I gave you look like they're the correct numbers. Okay. Okay. Now, a lot of people the other day they made their cow or the elephant just a little bit too big, and then, of course I took off points. I'm going to hit finish. Continue. Now I'm going to go back to the next one. A lot of people got this one wrong the other day. I'm going to go back to my version history and start over. Okay, so if you look at the picture, okay, let's read the instructions first. The rotation sprite uh, property rotates the image by between 0 and 360. The image is rotated clockwise. For example, my sprite rotation 90 degrees will turn it 1/4 rotation to the right. Add rotation blocks to the code to make all the cars look like they are traveling correctly down the road. Now you have to look at the headlights. Let me hit run. Look at the headlights of the cars and the direction they're heading. So we just have to flip those around just a little bit. The green car looks good. He looks like he is going in the right direction. Let's go down. Car green, car red. So we have the scale. We need to get a rotation. I'm going to go into the sprite category, put a rotation, and I'm going to put it on the red, and we are going to rotate it. It says let's go 90 degrees because that's what it told us up here. And I'm just going to do one car at a time. Uh-oh, something's not right. Oh, I didn't change the label. I need to make sure it says car left with a capital L. Okay, there we go. That now the red and green are right. The blue needs to go to a complete rotation. It's going the wrong way. For instance, we could say it's going north. We want it to go south. Go into sprites. Get that rotation. We're going to name it car bottom with a capital B. And we are going to, I believe that would be 180 degrees. Because if we had a 90, it took 1/4, 180 is going to flip it around. So I'm going to hit run, and there, we have that. Now we have the yellow car to finish. I'm going to get a rotation. Name it car right with a capital R. And the rotation should be, I think it's going to be 45 because it's not 90. It's more than a 45-degree angle. And there we are. That's it. I'm just double checking. All right, that's what I'm going to be looking for when I look at this. Make sure the headlights are going the right direction. Okay, moving on. Okay, number 5. This is another one. A lot of people did not get quite the sizes we want. This is another one. The food is way too big for the plate. Use your knowledge of sprite properties to make it fit. So I'm going to hit run, and you can see what you have. And we want it to look like this. Okay, so ideally we want to work on one thing at a time. So let's look at the French fries. Since French fries would be my favorite, and so I'm going to put a scale, sprite scale on line 5. Hold on, no, I didn't do that right. So let me pull that out, and I know I messed that up. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back to my version history and start over because I put it in there and somehow it slid into the wrong spot. So I'm going to go hit run, and I'm going to go back into my sprite category, and I'm going to pull scale out, and I'm going to put it underneath fries here. There we go. I got it. I don't know. I'm guessing again. I'm going to go 0.5 because 1 is the full size. Uh-oh, what I did wrong. Oh, I didn't name it. Oh, way too small. Alright, let's do 0.75. And I'm looking at the fries in the picture, and they look pretty close to the edge. The burger, same difference, same size. We're going to put a scale underneath the burger. I'm going to name it burger. Excuse me, I'm sitting here drinking some soda, which is making me. Anyhow, let's make it smaller. Let's go. I'm going to do 1 and see what it says. It didn't do much. I'm going to go 0.75 again then. It still looks a little bit over the plate. This is right on the plate. So let's go 0.7. We don't need to put the 0 because the 0 is just a placeholder. Still hanging over. 0.6. Okay. Looks pretty good. You can see a little bit of white here. You can see a little bit of white there. Now we're doing the watermelon, which is, they're calling it dessert. And I'm going to slide that in there. And I'm going to type in dessert. And that scale is going to be 0.5. That's where I'm going to start. Too small. 0.6. And that looks like pretty close. The fries look good. The fries for lunch yesterday. I used to enjoy them. That looks good. Hope you agree. Finish. At any time you can stop this video and do the work and then come back. So I'm going to go to 6A. Let me double check something. Yeah, we did that. Alright, 6A. 6A. Reset. This is a rather, if I remember right, this is a simple one. So I'm going to hit run. It says, tint is a property that will overlay color on top of a sprite to tint it. The tint doesn't change the existing colors of the sprite, but it's more like putting a pane of colored glass over the top of the sprite. You do this. You use either the sprite already created for you or with any other sprites of your choosing. Play around with the tint property and see how it works and see how it changes on different colored sprites. So let me see here. I'm drawing. I have to remember how to get here. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to put creature. And it's not a number you're going to put in here. You're going to put a color. So I'm going to put blue. And I think we had to put parentheses around it. And you can see how it changes. Let me do pink. I'm going to reset. See how it changes just a little bit. I'm going to do yellow. Just play a couple times. I don't know how interested you are or you just want to be finished. See? That's it. Simple. Sprite. We could put new sprites in, but I'm just going to be finished with it. Okay, and then the last one. New blocks, height and width. Version start over. Okay. You've learned about the scale property, which grows or shrinks a sprite while keeping their height and width the same ratio, but it is possible to change only the height or the width of a sprite with other properties. Do this. Use either the sprite already created for you or with any other sprite of your choosing. Play around with the height and width properties and think about when you want to use these properties versus using the scale property. So I'm going to hit run, and there is our giraffe. So let me go in here. So let's just add a height. And it already says Sprite. And so I'm going to put 25 in there, see what happens. Okay, that made it a little bit too short. So let's make it 125. How about 225? See, now his width is staying the same, but his height is getting a little taller. So let's change that to 325. 425. Okay, so his width is staying the same, but his height is getting bigger and bigger. And that's all there is to it. So I'm going to hit finish. And that is, let's see, so there's 6, 7, 8. There's 8 activities in this lesson. Try to get them all done.